French government's been holding an emergency meeting following the chaos which saw the match delayed for over 30 minutes and tear gas and pepper spray fired at fans trying to enter the stadium. The UK government's called for a formal inquiry and says the police response was deeply concerning. Well, let's speak to the Associated Press global sports correspondent Rob Harris, who's in Paris for us. Rob, good to talk to you. What's come out of that emergency meeting? What is the French authorities' position at the moment?
Well, the key position is they're blaming the Liverpool fans. They're blaming the fans who they said had either fake tickets or no tickets at all and were still trying to get into the Stade de France on Saturday night. They talked about 30 to 40,000 fake tickets potentially. Industrial fraud, they said, was taking place in and around Paris with these tickets, those determined to get into the final. They also defended the actions of the French police in terms of firing that tear gas and the pepper spray at fans indiscriminately, saying it helped to save lives. I did try to push them further on this, and there was not much word from them when trying to press them, and they really were defending their actions and pinning the blame on others.
So a UEFA investigation seems logical. We know it's supported by Liverpool, supported by the UK government as well. How will the French react to that, or how are the French reacting to that idea?
Well, this is just the first step of their own investigation. The meeting held today with the government, the police and indeed football officials as well. There's no word yet in terms of the scale of this investigation. We saw in England last year when there was disorder at the European Championship final, the Football Association of England did launch a full independent investigation, lots of detail into just what went wrong. There are desires from Liverpool, certainly, and the British government for something similar to be taking place here in France into just what did go wrong at the Stade de France, because witnessing the scenes myself, there was chaos and disorder, and the French police indeed struggling to cope, the stewarding struggling to cope with fans who they were still insisting today at the French Sports Ministry arrived too late. They didn't get there in time. When I tried to push when they did expect them to arrive, there was no clear answer because there were many hundreds, there were thousands queuing before kick-off, and of course the match was eventually delayed by more than half an hour.
I mean, Rob, you've seen enough of these events in your time. What was your impression, your takeaway from what happened at the match?
Well, it was very similar to Euro 2016, when you see the police do resort to firing tear gas as a first resort to disperse crowds, and even when there aren't perhaps many people around, they are launching these rounds, and they were doing so even from within the inner perimeter, right next to the press entrance, in fact. So we had a very clear view of it all, and it's something that very clearly shocked the Liverpool fans who did fear being crushed, fans with asthma, children, the elderly as well, who were experiencing this tear gassing. And it's something we have seen, say, before in France, and this comes ahead of a busy period for French sport with the Rugby World Cup here next year and the Olympics in 2024 in Paris as well.